I played fantasy football one year with all of his
Oh yeah,
employees.
talk about
Really?
that.
And yes, and I didn't do very well, mainly
Why? Why didn't
because
you?
I didn't know who anyone was. So I picked them based on how cute they were. So if
Oh,
I thought that I picked the cutest quarterback and the cutest running back, and that was how I built my team. And what was interesting about that is I actually ended up remembering some of the players, and we went to the X
Oh
game.
gosh, yeah. She'll never let this one down because we're at the X Games, right? Someone walks by and she says, "I think that's Joey Burrow."
I'm like, that's Joe Burrow, Dad. He's on the Bengals.
I don't
I
know.
think.
Yeah.
Like
You nailed
I
it.
have
Yes,
no
he is.
idea. I don't know, right? And I go,
Is it?
I don't know because I don't know for sure. And he comes walking by and he's walking out and they're like, "Hey, Joey B!" People are yelling at him. Like,
I
there
was
you
like,
go.
see,
You
see,
missed
I know football more than you.
Started as a kid with a team to believe in. Every win and loss left my heart still beating. Year after year through the rain and the sun, learning that faith is what makes us strong.
The kick is up, and the kick is good afternoon, and welcome back to the Superfan Diaries. I'm your host, J.R. Green, recording from our studios on Broadway in downtown Nash Vegas, bringing you the biggest sports, the biggest moments, and the biggest fans, celebrating passionate sports figures and their unique stories. Yes, legends. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share your own game day traditions or stories online. Today's story is a little different, and honestly, it's exactly why this show exists. This isn't about knowing every stat. It's not about proving loyalty. It's about curiosity, joy, and saying yes to whatever life brings you. Before Chiefs Red, before Taylor Swift Sundays, before viral videos and tens of millions of people watching, there was a young woman learning how to move through the world and awesome parents who taught her to keep showing up. Get ready to meet a fan of football, a fan of fun, and most importantly, a fan of the thrills of life. Olive, Mannella, and her dad, Frankie, also known as Dadasaur. Welcome to the show.
Hey, that's a great introduction.
I love
Thank
that.
you.
Well, you guys deserve it. I mean, you're globally known.
Yeah. Well, it's still really nice of you. I love it. That was great.
Well, awesome. Well, guess what? We're going to jump right into it. Olive, before we talk about fandom, followers, and football, we all want to know, who were you as a kid? Who were you in those classrooms growing up?
Oh gosh. I really, from a young age, loved to be like a storyteller and a performer. Like everything was about being eccentric and wearing very interesting clothes as a kid. And I just really felt like the main character of my life as a child, like a lot. And I would make them watch
Yeah, but you thought Sharpay was like the
The Good
one,
Guy, yeah,
right?
from High School Musical.
Yeah, that's who should kind of model after. And we're like, I think you're missing the point
Yeah,
here, but
definitely. I had a little bit of a warped sense. Like every single Disney Channel show I would watch, I was trying to embody that in my life. Like I really felt like I was in this like movie, and they had to put up with that high energy. I still, to this day, I'm still like that, to be honest.
I love it. I love it. Frankie, before becoming absolutely world famous for Dadasaur, what were you doing before diving T-Rex into the wild world of social media? For those listeners, you can simply type in Dadasaur and boom, Frankie, the guest today, he's going to show up first and foremost. It's pretty darn incredible. We're also going to be sure to place all those kind of highlights on Superfan Diaries so they can quickly be found by all of our guests. But all right, back to the beginning. What were you doing before becoming content creators and viral sensations?
well, when you go back on that, right? Dadasaur existed long before it got on the internet, right? So that's the dad making their kids laugh, right? Making his kids. So,
Yep.
and I'll say this to you because people always ask, and it's a good time to talk about it. Why did that start? Where did that start? How did Dadasaur come about? And I say to people, it's one of these three things. One of them, you get to, I'm not going to tell you which, right? It's either I have some dinosaur DNA that activates, right? I was hypnotized, or a dad who promised his kids that if they ever ask for Dadasaur, he will always be there, right? So
Yep.
there is no choice when it comes to Dadasaur. And as long as I've been making them laugh, and it's rocket fuel. So that's what I was doing since they were little. But on another level, I'm an entrepreneur. I've done a lot of things. I have a couple of companies. I've done roofing. I opened a restaurant. I did a live improv show at that restaurant, kind of like Comedy Sports, if you know what that is, live with food and
Dance teacher.
dance. Yeah, they got into dance big time. So I was like, I got to figure this out. I mean, I used to break dance when I was little, break
Oh
dance
my
on the
gosh.
streets in Minneapolis. I'd have my cardboard and the boom box and all. And I went through, skateboarding phase, punk phase, all phases, Michael Jackson, everything.
Did you have the Michael Jackson parachute pants? Did you have the parachute
Oh,
pants
heck
and
yeah.
the red
Are you
jacket?
kidding me? Then I had a shirt with zippers. It was like black. It had
Yes.
zippers all over it. And I had bandanas all over me.
I got my style from.
When my wife met me, man, I was trench coat, paisley shirt, eyeliner, freaking spiked hair, skateboard. And it was like, absolutely. I went all in on everything.
Oh yeah.
So that, and then as an adult, obviously a few different companies, did some stuff in the insurance restoration, but there's nothing more important than being a parent and a spouse, right?
How did you find time? You're thinking about the entrepreneurial piece. How did you find time to be so involved with the family? Because it's hard to be running a restaurant.
You know what? It worked out really well. Yeah. No, it's a great question. And it's it's one of those things where life doesn't go the way you expect it to go, right? When you're young, and when we were first married, we were broke. Like, we had nothing. We were living in an apartment. We're cleaning cockroaches out of the hallways for rent. It was not good. And then my wife got pregnant with Olive, and she had to quit her job. She was working at the University of Minnesota. She had a master's in epidemiology. So we're like, what do we do here? And then I had taken the LSAT plan to go to law school, but I got to sell some stuff, right? I got to make some money. So I started just selling siding and made a little bit of money doing that. So then I was like, all right, well, this is working for now. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. There was an interesting hailstorm in Minneapolis in 1998 that we started working off of. And then as a few years went by, it was like things started going well. We got successful. I got an IPO, all of that.
Yep.
But a private equity group came along and said, "Oh, let's help you out. Let me buy into the company, and we're gonna help you grow it. Take some money off the table. You'll have less risk. All of
American
the story.
dream right there. American dream.
Sure, all right. So we did that, but as those things go, it didn't work out. We didn't get along. They didn't do what we expected. The company crashed very quickly. They took me out they took me out before it crashed, right? They just terminated my contract without cause and crashed. And then what happened was we kind of went to the bank and bought the company back. But at that point, I didn't want to grow it as big anymore. So it was that moment that allowed me, that failure, if you will, in some respects, because we expected differently. That failure allowed me to look at it and say, this is the time where my kids are little. This is the time I have. These are the 10 years that are probably the most important.
Yep.
And I was able to manage life without having to really go there work-wise to a level where I had all kinds of mental issues, right? I had to go through therapy and all these things, to try and change.
So does everybody listening, everybody out there.
All of that stuff, right? My wife's now a mental health therapist, but it's just, the kids, we always talk about that. It's like, they look at that time and it's like, I'm sorry, we had our problems too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, so we were able to navigate that together and it worked out. So that's why.
I love it. All right, Olive, my guess is a big % of our listeners will know who you are. And I know my daughter had heard of you. And immediately she said, wow, Dad, that's a big deal. And just so you know, I'm feeling special right now to get a 14-year-old to even acknowledge me. So, Frankie, I can tell I'm going to need some guidance. But all right, let's just jump right into stories. Let's jump into stories. Olive, when did you first hit the social media scene and begin to gain followers?
It was in like the height of the pandemic. I had just moved back home. I had no job. I had no idea what I really wanted to do. I was 20. I just turned 21 and I was kind of burnt out from what I'd been doing before. And I came home and it was really cool because it was the first time our entire family had been all together since I was like a senior in high school. And it was actually really nice because, funny enough, and not a lot of people know this, my parents and I did not get along when I was in high school. Like, for all of the layers of closeness we are now, that was not the case when I was in high school at all, like the opposite. So to be back home and to kind of have this newfound friendship with my parents, and then to be stuck at home with nothing, like there was nothing that any of us were distracted by. No schedules that we were distracted by. We were all trapped basically, and getting along really well, maybe for the first time in a while. So we started, I just was videotaping things that we were already doing.
Yep.
And when I actually filmed a smaller version of like we had one video that went very viral of, I can't even say it, we say Dadasaur, because if I said
Oh, I know that video. That's the one everybody could just immediately
Yes.
pop in Dadasaur. Yep.
Yes, exactly. So, but a little bit before that, I posted a video of my mom asking him, what are we going to do for dinner tonight? Because that was like our routine every day. It's like, are we going to order dinner, cook dinner, what? We have dinner together every night. And he gets up on the table and starts doing his thing, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And the video, I remember it got maybe 270,000 views. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
I was like, they love that.
TikTok was just, TikTok was just kind of
Oh,
was like
new.
Just starting.
there were 5 of us on there, and Charlie.
It was so new. It was like us and Charlie D'Amelio and maybe like 30
Yep.
to 40 other like creators at that point. So I continued to film the times when we would say the
Dadasaur.
word. Yes,
Yep.
Dadasaur.
I can
And
say it. You could say it if she said.
If I said it, he would do it right now. He would.
And we
I
have
love it.
some
I
live
love
videos.
it.
We have some live videos on these types of Zooms where it's happened, and you
On
can
the
see it
news.
on the news.
It's happened a few
Fox and
times.
Friends,
Yep.
all kinds of them, right?
So it was so fun that people were watching, and
Yep.
then me and my sisters would have a ton of fun because we would come up with these scenarios. We'd be like, okay, let's wait till they're out in the yard working on the yard, and then we'd go out there and say it. Or let's wait till they're working out today and let's say it then. And it just became this thing where almost every day we were trying to come up, me and my sisters, with a scenario where we could call this out.
Yeah.
And he would make a huge mess and my mom would get mad. So by that point, I think it was by the end of 2020, I had hit, and this was in April of
Yep.
2020. By the end of 2020, I think I hit my first 1 million followers and got verified on TikTok.
Yep.
And we had been on like KTLA, like
Oh,
Fox
yeah.
and Friends. We had gotten contacted by a couple other really big,
MTV,
yeah, we were on
Yep.
Ridiculousness. There was a ton of different,
Barstool.
Sports picked it up. That actually was right away, which was really cool too. But
So
so it
cool.
started to be this thing that everybody had seen it, and we didn't even know because we were stuck inside during quarantine.
Yes.
And then when we started leaving the house, everywhere we went, people knew
you.
the video. It was
Yeah, but
so
not just in the
crazy.
U.S. Like because the
That's
reason we
global.
were all together. Our youngest daughter was in Monaco studying ballet at the
Mhm.
time, and so she came home, and then we go back there, like her friends in Italy and Monaco, and we'd go
The
through
gate
customs
agents, yeah.
in
It was
Amsterdam. It was
crazy.
wild. You know what's funny about that though? That just popped in my brain as you were
Yeah.
asking about that, and I was thinking back to that time. So we didn't get along, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, when you were that age, and remember how like the stuff you would put on social media,
Oh,
and I would take her phone, break into it,
you would
like
delete things.
one time
what a
she
good
had
dad does.
really
is.
inappropriate picture, and
Mm.
she was wearing, what were they?
Oh, the unicorn horn.
Yeah, the unicorn horn.
It was Halloween, and I was 16 or 17, and I had a unicorn horn on and like a white leotard and a tutu, and
Oh,
I
boy.
posted it.
Oh,
And
boy.
in hindsight, I look at it and I'm like, he was so valid. But at the time, I'm thinking, this is cute.
This
Like
is
I
cute.
look
This
good.
is fun. It's cute.
I
It's
look
fun.
good. Like I'm posting this, and then I go onto my phone to see how many likes I have for my picture in high school, and not only is the picture gone, it's a picture of him in the unicorn horn that he posted.
Well
and
done,
said,
Frankie.
That picture
Mm.
was inappropriate. This is what I'm posting instead. I
love
was
it.
mortified.
But the funny thing is, and the reason I bring that up is she tries so hard at these things, right?
Yeah.
And she's trying, and it kind of like is one of those life, lessons, or I don't know. What we went viral for was just being us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
just me. That's just them, right? Our dynamic was so natural to who we are, and I think maybe that's part of why people related to it. Chrisser gets mad. Like she was somewhat of a Karen. She was mad that, she'd laugh afterwards a little bit, but she did not like the levels at which I would take things.
No, she still does.
Many times. One time she was like, I'm not talking to you tomorrow.
But that giant spark, what you all had to do though is you did have that giant spark that was on your way to becoming Mr. Beast, but then you start actually continually delivering content, so to speak, that people want to see.
Yeah.
And you're not having to be inappropriate. So I think that's a big deal, because so many people right now, they drive into social media viral by doing a lot of very inappropriate things. Like Paris
Yeah.
Hilton. I mean, but like, so like you look into certain things that get the highest volume, but if you're able to do things that are PG or at worst PG-13, I think that's a skill. I mean, it's
Well, especially too being a a younger, like a young woman, my age demographic of like what a lot of young girls post, or girls in high school to age
Yep.
25, 30 even. It does get a lot into this, oh, what do I look like? A little bit more vapid,
Yes.
a little bit more like, can I get, because to be fair, a lot of the times if you dress a certain way, or if you present yourself a certain way, you are going to get attention for how you look. Like, you just are, right?
Yep.
But to be able to post something, it was such a great lesson that I learned, because to be able to post something that was so authentic and have it
Yes.
received by so many people, it kind of reinstated this idea that I didn't need to do that in order to be accepted or valued by a group of people.
Yeah.
I really could just be myself, even if it meant doing kind of weird things or funny things, or not caring so much about my appearance as a young woman. So it was a really like amazing thing that it did for my self-esteem, because I started to just be like, yeah, I can just be me. I don't need to do all that.
You know what though? As an older guy though, as a
Yeah.
dad, there's a few videos, and there's this one in particular where people were like, "Is he beekeeping age?" Do you know what that means?
No, but tell us.
It's a meme, right?
It's a
And it's
meme.
Okay.
about like there's this what show is that from?
Family Guy, maybe?
Maybe Family Guy, I think. We'll have
Yes.
to look it up. You can look
Big
it up.
Mouth, something. One of
But it's like this girl is looking at the dad, and she's like, "Oh, your dad, is how old is he?" Kind of thing. It's like, is he beekeeping age? And they're like, "I don't know what's
Beekeeping
beekeeping."
age.
And at the end of it, she says something really inappropriate about what she wants. So people use that as like it's a compliment. Like
Okay.
they're saying you're good looking and things like that. So there's
Wow.
one video like where they keep saying
Okay.
that. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I like that video.
Yeah,
I'm
you-
like,
I mean-
that's my favorite. I'm the one who cares more about something like that. Yeah, that video.
You'd be like,
repost
how's
that.
my hair? Like, is it look fine? And I'm like, you're
It's au
done.
natural.
Like,
It's au
Yeah.
natural. But like my biggest question with all of this, and I think even the listeners want to know is, Frankie especially, but Olive too, like how do y'all feel in your family? You started to become social media stars and the Mannella Initiative was born. I mean, how does that feel? Because just like you said, your gate folks, your restaurants, your daughter is in ballet in another country. How did, what does it feel like for your family going through this?
Yeah, it was weird at first, right? Like it just goes viral, and viral was just like not the same as it is now then,
not a lot
It
of people
was-
were going viral at the time. Like, it was a
they
smaller
were for
group,
other things, right?
but not the way it is now, where almost everyone you meet now
Yeah.
has a viral video.
They go viral. They go one viral
Yeah.
real quick, and then they're gone
Yep.
though. It's a viral hit,
Yep.
and they disappear.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was strange, right? Because some things were happening that you just didn't expect. Like people would come there was people sitting in the front yard, right? Like across the
Oh no,
street.
that's scary though. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, but they were kids, you know what I mean? They were
Oh, okay.
obviously from around Minnesota, when we lived there.
Tell
And
me
then-
about the Google tag on our.
on one of the videos they left my phone number. Is that what?
No.
Oh no, on Google.
Yeah.
On Google,
Google Maps.
somebody went on Google Maps, took our house and labeled it Dadasaur's Den, right?
Yeah.
Somebody called me on the phone and like, is this Dadasaur? Like people, but you're watching this happen online, and it was kind of cool because like tech sports, right? So there's
Yeah.
certain people, we're fans. I'm fans of tons of people. Well,
Yes.
then you see things like on X, the video Randy Moss making a comment. I'm like, yeah,
Randy
but
Moss
Randy's
reposted
he's
it.
my hero. I don't even repost it, but it's like these people. Like, remember we were going through the comments. And it's like, Tank Sinatra and all these people are just saying these, all these people that. Even today, we get videos and they're going viral. And I'll be like, "Hey, that's the girl we just had one the other day from Ted Lasso. That's the girl from Ted
Yeah.
Lasso. She likes our video.
Yep.
That's Deborah
love it.
Messing. She likes our video." So it's like this was happening, and it was talked about everywhere. People were posting it like without us posting it. I mean,
Yeah.
seeing it shared several 100,000 times on Facebook. I'm like, I don't know whose page that even is. And so you're kind of trying to figure out as a dad, right?
Yeah.
Like, how
Not
do
just
I
any
deal
dad,
with this with
Dadasaur.
my family. Yeah, I know, but I mean, my family's going around like, is this? I'm calling lawyers. I was like, is this safe? I don't know. It's like too late. My youngest is like, Mom, they're calling you a Karen. She's like, at
gosh.
first she's like, take it down. I'm like, you can't take down videos. They're like, they're
Yeah.
out there. It's
Yeah.
done. So it was kind of this navigating that, but it was also really cool because, obviously a lot of people want to talk to you. They want you on shows. We didn't know how to navigate it though, because we didn't come from that world, right? Like we knew how to be ourselves and be funny and just put the stuff out there. But then there's this whole other world of like
people trying
managers
to
and
help
people
you and tell you how you should be doing it.
It can be really, and I would, I would do another video on this, but it can be really predatorial too, right? We get lots of times they'll send her things. She'll be like, Dad, look at this. And like, hey, I want to repost your video. But,
no rights. I mean, we're not taking any of your rights. It's like, this is non-exclusive, all this stuff. And then in the bottom, it says terms and conditions. You click on, it's like exclusive license, blah, blah, blah.
Watch
and you're
that,
like,
watch the terms.
They steal it all. They take all. And then you got brands sending you stuff going, hey, let's do this. And you're like, I don't know how do I price this, right? And then, and then in their terms, luckily, coming from my background, I'm like, I got to have a lawyer look at these.
Yeah.
That's a gift, Frankie. That was a gift to have that background.
It was.
Yeah.
So we protected everything pretty well in the early days where everything could have been much different. And then we had some people approach us with like TV shows and other things, and we'd navigate through that. And I don't know, it was cool. It's fun. I can't say that it isn't nice to have so many people recognize you, and we love the people who follow us and come up and go, "Hey,
it's awesome."
It's awesome. We love that.
Oh, that's great.
But there also is an element of anytime you go viral, especially when you go viral over a longer period like that, where every video is getting millions of views. Every time that happens, you do get haters. Like you do get.
Oh yeah, no, we're going to talk about that in the show
down.
today. We've got a whole segment of where I'm ready for you to give some coaching to it. But no, I love it, and I think it's amazing that you all been able to manage that, because it really does feel like fandom for you guys. It wasn't about escape, but it's about engagement. So, but with that, I want to turn to sports. We've got a sports show here. We've got a lot of sports fans listening. So we're on a sports show, but let's talk about how football entered the picture. What was happening in your life when Taylor Swift and the Chiefs became a part of your world? Was the emotion or curiosity, like, how did all that happen?
Well, what's interesting about the Taylor Swift universe is we actually, so growing up dancing and my dad teaching us and everything, because him and my mom actually had an improv kind of program at the dance studio that we were at. So we would go on stage and do these improv dances and talk to a bunch of kids from all over the country that were in this kind of elite pool of dancers. And a few of the dancers that we met ended up being dancers for Taylor Swift's Eras Tour.
Oh, wow.
So we, being lifelong Swifties, like we went to the 1989 tour. We went to the Red Tour.
I got a box for those. It was cheap then.
Yeah.
It was easy.
Yeah,
man.
we've been Swifties forever. He thinks he's the OG.
I am the OG.
But not,
Absolutely.
no. I remember introducing you to a Taylor Swift song when I was like 10 years old.
I remember her being on stage in Florida.
He's lying.
Yeah, no.
You're lying.
It's here.
No, hold on. Did you think by chance when Taylor Swift started, did you think, just be honest, Olive, did you think Taylor Swift owned the Kansas City Chiefs?
No.
Okay.
I did not.
She might at some
She might have. Like,
she could afford them, by the way.
You can never say Taylor Swift won't do that because she always is doing something that you totally wouldn't expect. So you can never say no. But at the time, when her and Travis started dating, I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch football. Like, I have never
well,
been
let's
a
back
sports
up there
person.
for a second. She doesn't remember. But my wife and I are a sports family. I played football and hockey and all that.
Oh, my gosh. We got to talk about this, Frankie. Okay, keep going there. Yeah.
But more importantly, we grew up as Vikings fans.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's brutal. That is brutal.
Yeah.
That is
the field
harsh.
goal. I know the missed field goal. Yep.
1998 NFC Championship, right? I mean, you knew that jinxed it the moment he said he's been perfect. Gary Anderson, perfect all year long, right? To go to
I remember.
Super Bowl. It was the most devastating game I've ever. And listen, I got to meet Bud Grant, got to know him a little bit, and talked about those games. And we lost 4 Super Bowls and everything. Ooh, people talk about that. Forget that. It's the NFC Championship game after one, after another. Then the Giants, right, when we got blown out 41-0, and then the Favre one where he throws the interception. I mean, on and on and on. As a Vikings fan, she's little, she's wearing Vikings gear, touchdown.
She's for the social experience.
She watched it, but she probably, felt the pain and suffering of being a Vikings fan that might have shied her away from really becoming a football fan. Until Taylor Swift,
until Taylor. I mean, I mean, you take the Vikings and you take the Kansas City Swifties. Those are two different teams, and I mean, like, you can get behind the Kansas City Swifties.
Well, I think what made it kind of fun to tune into football at the time was it did sort of feel like it brought me back to when I was a kid, where there was almost like a secondary element to football where, when you're a kid and it's there's going to be all of these snacks on Sunday because we get catering and there's all these yummy foods and we put on our cool outfits and everybody's together. All these people are coming over to my house. So it's like, as a kid, you fall in love with more the experience. And I think somewhere along the way, I lost that experience. I think we went to a Vikings game one time when I was like in middle school or high school.
Yeah.
But what was cool about Taylor Swift is it did feel like all of a sudden I could enter back into the experience, being a fan of hers and tuning in and watching to see when they would like put her in her little box on there. And then I started to learn. I played fantasy football one year with all of his employees.
Really?
And I didn't do very well, mainly because
What did you choose them off of?
Because
How did you pick your team?
I didn't know who anyone was.
Team colors. I used to do that too. I'll admit, Frankie, I did not play football.
No, I guarantee you didn't pick it this way.
I picked them based on how cute they were. So I thought that I picked the cutest quarterback and the cutest running back, and that was how I built my team. And what was interesting about that is I actually ended up remembering some of the players, and we went to the X Games.
Gosh, yeah. She'll never let this one down because we're at the X Games, right?
Okay, yes.
And we're in this little VIP section because we got invited, and someone walks by, and she says, "I think that's Joey Burrows."
I'm like, "That's Joe Burrow."
Joey Burrow. I love the name Joey Burrow.
And I said,
"He's on the Bengals."
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
you nailed it.
I have no
Yes,
idea. I don't know, right? And I go,
Is it?
I think it is. I'm
like, he's
you want me to go talk to him? I'll go talk to him and ask. She's like, no. I'm like, I don't know if it is. If you know for sure, I'll go up and tell him that he's on your fantasy football team.
Yeah.
I'm 99.9%.
My dad, it's
sure.
him.
Whatever. Fine. You want me to or not? She's like, I don't know, because I don't know for sure. And he comes walking by and he's walking out and they're like, "Hey, Joey B!" People are yelling at him like,
I was like, see,
you
I
missed
know
the opportunity
football more than you. So without the Taylor Swift entry point, I probably wouldn't have played fantasy football that year. And I probably wouldn't have started to learn all of these things about football that I hadn't learned before. And now I'm lost.
You should pick a different method, though.
It didn't work.
That was terrible.
I'm going
to try something new.
You need to, for March Madness, you might need to take that on because nobody can win March Madness.
Yeah,
so
if I work there.
Right? Yeah, just take it because nobody can pick those. But doing the Fantasy Football League by that is pretty darn amazing. All right, folks, that's the first quarter with Olive and Dadasaur. And time for a little break. We'll be right back.
Started as a kid with a team to believe in. Every win and loss left my heart still beating.
Welcome back to Superfan Diaries, and we are here with Olive, Mannella, and Frankie Dadasaur, two people reminding us that joy is allowed and having so much fun. Of course, he's got the Mountain Dew he just pulled into his hand, which means we're going to be taking this to another level. All right, time to get a little bit more personal. Life can speed things up sometimes. After Hurricane Ian in 2022, you chose to share your family's recovery. What made openness feel like the right choice for you?
That's a good question.
Well, at that point in our family journey online, as you talked to us about before, it just is open. Like, there is very little we don't share with the people who have chosen to follow us because we've taken a different approach with that. It's not all, it's not like we do scripted content. And sometimes I'll do funny things. We'll all do funny, we all have different channels and we do things that are, but a lot of times it's just really like, what's happening. We're just recording each other all the time. It's like, because we have that type of family and relationship. So
we have a relationship with our
and something big happened, right? We just moved down to Florida permanently. I had the house since 2002, and then we lived in Florida for a few years when they were young, and we moved back to Minnesota. And then when things got all locked down, we're like, well, at least it's warm down there. Let's move to Florida. Ellie was gone in Europe, so we were here, and then boom, Hurricane Ian. I mean, we didn't expect that.
No, it was
devastating.
But it was like, how can you not? Right? How can you not talk about that? Mm-hmm. So we just started. Well, the first one, I'm not sure if you saw or not, but I'm like, we got to get to the house. So I bought us some kayaks. We launched them over by this hotel.
Wow,
and I'm like, probably was a bad idea when you think about all the stuff that was in the water at the time.
Totally.
But we're kayaking over, and Christine and Oliver in the other kayak, and they're yelling at me.
You were going too fast.
Too slow, and she thinks it's too far. And I'm like, go back. She wouldn't let me go alone. I'm like, I'll go and I'll get back here and we'll.
To preface, you couldn't drive. The Fort Myers Beach is an island.
Oh yeah, no, you were locked off.
Yeah, so you couldn't drive on there. They were bringing people on and off with these huge like ATV type things,
like military
vehicles. So in order to get any sort of supplies or any sort of anything, and also it was totally blocked off. There was tons of traffic and all this stuff. So we're he has the idea to kayak,
Which is a pretty good idea.
It was an interesting.
It was a little farther than I thought it
really
was.
Far.
We got rescued by a boat.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, that's
there was
scary.
A boat out there, and we're like waving them down. Well, it was just we might have eventually made it, but it was a long way. And then when they brought us here, then I found my jet ski like upside down in a pile of rubble, and I found a key in the rubble in the house, and so we threw that over the wall into the ocean and got that started, and then we used that to go back and forth.
There was 12 feet of water in the house.
Yeah, it was devastating.
It was the whole first floor.
I mean, it still isn't put back together because we just settled with insurance just last spring. So
brutal. And are you still able to get insurance? Because my in-laws used to have a home down in Marco Island, and so when it hit them, fortunately their house was high enough. The only thing that got destroyed was, unfortunately, he didn't necessarily tie the boat properly to the boat stand, so that became a basically torpedo, which lambasted a lot of other boats down the canal, of which became a fun neighborly discussion after the storm.
And that was Irma, right? 2017 Irma.
No, this was the one I think it was the one that hit Fort Myers. It also hit
Milton.
Maybe it would have been either Irma or Ian. Like it would have either been the one in.
It was recent. It's within the past 5 or 6 years because it was because they ended up selling the home.
Irma hit down there pretty hard. That was a bad.
That must have been the one. But they don't get insurance. That was the reason they ended up selling the house, is because I think Florida stopped allowing, or certain homes can't get insurance anymore.
Yeah, it's difficult. I just got rid of it because I'm like, I don't want it. It was such a, you pay for 20 years and then you have to fight for it, right? It's like, it's ridiculous. So when you're on a ground level, it's very difficult to get it because everything is supposed to be built up to a certain height and everything now. And it's a mess. The whole insurance market's a mess. That's a whole nother subject, but it's difficult. Yeah.
But I mean, like when you were sharing this story of the kayaks and everything else going on, I mean, did you find it to be, what I would call, was it helpful or was it pressure to have to?
No, man, it was awesome.
It was awesome.
Because you get so much support. Listen, we've been very blessed.
Yeah.
Okay. Not just in life. I've been blessed with a wonderful family and all kinds of things. I'm more blessed than I should be, 10 times over. But we've been very blessed with the people who do follow along with us, right? That they're very supportive and wonderful people.
And smart.
Right.
They know tips about things.
So we didn't have, you get some hate. And earlier on when it was uber viral, we got more hate about stuff, just things. But now it's more, we get much more support. People, and it's so nice. The nicest thing about social media and doing it is how many times people come up to you and go, even from back at the Dadasaur stuff, like, man, that was a really tough time, and this happened, and you made us laugh, and we really appreciate that. Or someone will say, you remind me of my dad, or they'll say, hey, to her, so when this is going on, we get tons of support. And
to the point where I had 50 plus DMs of people saying, hey, you can come to my house. I live over in Cape Coral. Like, I have a shower there. We can cook you dinner. Like,
that's awesome.
So many people saying that. It was insane.
Strangers like, you can stay in my guest room, and it's just like,
it was incredible.
Nice. Thank you.
I could not wrap my brain around how incredibly supportive all of like this community of people that we had never met, but we met through these videos that we've been posting for the last 6 years.
Do you know what I did though?
What?
I got a camper and I threw it in the front yard, right? And so, because I'm like, there was looting and everything going on down here. And
I know it's scary back down there.
So they had to go. I'm like, just get out of here. Let me handle this, right? So the girls go over to visit. They go to visit Ellie, right, for a little bit, because she was starting at her new company, and all of a sudden they get Crystal will tell you the story. They're getting like messages and stuff saying, "Hey,
We're
Frankie's
really
going
worried.
crazy. Like, go
We're
look
so
at.
worried
I'm
about
going.
Frankie.
I'm going on lives at this point in a camper, like Florida man
Oh,
style. Like
gosh.
I'm all just covered.
Yeah,
with
you're
muck
into
and
it.
everything. I'm going live, cooking in a camper, like talking about how to make a pizza in there and whether which brownies and cookies. Like I get sometimes 10,000 people sitting on live with me, just saying, like, do this, do that, and I'm just living in the yard. In a camper going live every night.
Island looked apocalyptic.
It was crazy.
It looked like an atomic bomb had gone off, and it was like the Wild West over here. Like everywhere you looked was some sort of.
It looked like a war zone.
It looked like a war zone. I couldn't, and actually, we probably have some videos if you wanted to put them in because
we can put them on. Oh yeah,
it looked so bad. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Yep.
And when we came back from Europe, he's all excited and giddy, and we get out of the car and he's done all this work around the house, but he's in his like cargo pants and his like shirt, and he has all
he's
this
commando.
I'm showering with a bottle of water over my head.
And his whole system worked out that he'd done. So that was hilarious. So.
And then Chris, your mom was mad because she's like, I'm not staying here.
She hated
and I'm
it.
like, okay, well, I got a hotel. You can stay in there.
Yes.
But I'm staying out here. She's like, no, if you're staying out here, I have to stay out here. I have to stay there. Then like,
Mama Bear.
So then they stayed out here and they hated it. But
they had
what
was really cool too is they had like the Red Cross set up here. They had an emergency
the
like
World
ER.
Kitchen, remember that?
Yeah,
something like that. And these people, the food and the support. I mean, they were amazing.
It was amazing the way the community
people
kind of
were incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all of this amazing background, all the experiences you went through with that 6 years of going through there. I mean, if you think about creativity, writing, encouragement, did you take that content and moving toward writing a book? I mean, Olive, when did writing become something special you wanted to pursue seriously? And can you tell us more about your book, what it's about, and when can we get our hands on it?
Yeah, no,
Well, first, I think if you're going to talk about your book, go way back to your first book.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. So, for number one, I have always been a reader. Like I loved reading when I was a kid to the point where I'm reading Harry Potter in my math class and getting the book confiscated from me. Like I was obsessed with.
There's where your curiosity came from.
Oh, yes. And you had a great imagination since you were a little kid, and the way that you would.
I would make up games with and plays and put on these big extravagant kind of shows for my family members. Like my brain has always just been wired on storytelling and creating something, right? Even in our content, capturing a moment and knowing how to edit it together to create a storyline. So that's always been something I've been passionate about. And then growing up and getting older and kind of wondering like, what do I want to do as far as this like storytelling gift goes for me as a person? We bring it back to me in middle school when I first read a book called The Hunger Games, which is also a movie.
Oh yeah.
A great franchise. And I was absolutely addicted to this series. I loved it so much to the point where when I was done reading the book, the 3 books at the time, I think I might have been in a depression. I'm not even going to lie. I was like 11 years old. And my way of coping was I decided I was going to write a book.
There you go.
I wrote basically The Hunger Games, but just changed the character's name.
But the fact you sat down and it's still pretty cool.
I'm reading it. It's like chapter 1. I'm like, you just wrote The Hunger Games, honey. Like,
I was like, did I? But
I love the critic there. Frankie the critic.
No, definitely.
He is, even with my book now. But it's funny. It was almost an identical situation where I was reading another series 2 or 3 summers ago. And when the book was done, I was like, my brain was just, I was so depleted from not being able to read this book anymore that I was like, I have to write one. I need something to do with all this energy. And I started coming up with this whole world and all these things. And I sit down with him. Mind you, I wrote about 100 pages of the book.
Wow.
I sit down with him and I go, what do you think of this idea? Like, I'm writing this book. Like, what do you think? And he goes, Olive, that makes no sense. Like, everything you just said makes no sense. Because it's a fantasy book. Fantasy and dystopian are like my favorite genres. So what I ended up doing is I ended up coming up with a whole new like magic system and some depth to the characters and all this stuff. And I didn't start rewriting the book until he
I
thought it
have
made
a
sense.
lot of issues with logic holes,
Yeah.
you know, in
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So you watch some of these, even in Harry Potter, I'm like, well, why is he going down in the basement instead of the teachers? Like, it doesn't, it's like logic has to play into it. And so I'm reading this, I'm like, oh, this doesn't make any logical
He's like, no.
sense. She's like, well, it's magic.
It's supposed to
I'm
be
like,
fantasy,
so?
Dad. Come on,
I'm
Dad.
like, but you still have to have rules, right? Like the magic has to have rules. You got to stick by those rules. If you create a world, the world has to have some order to it.
Yeah.
Maybe just
Right.
rando throw this out. Oh, this guy's got this magic and this guy's got that magic. I'm like, why? I don't know. That's what they have. I'm like, you have to explain it, right? So she's upset. She gets upset with me a lot.
Oh, I'll cry. I'm like, what?
Like, you're not supportive and all this, and I'm like, honey, because I love you and because I support you, I say these things, right? You know
right.
how it is as a dad. It's like,
He's a tough love.
What's
so.
the name of the book? What's the name of the book going to be? Have you decided that yet?
The book is called, and it is about a human girl who goes on a journey with these two soldiers to save the land and it's dying magic. So it is the first in a series. I have already started working on the second book and we don't have a release date yet.
But that's a little, she's being a little bit, well, you're saying what it is, but you're being like succinct about, like there's, and this was what was important to us, right? And I said this to her in the beginning, and she put it in, and it'll hopefully come through it. But there has to be some universal truth, right? It has to go deeper than just a story, right? So she did a good job of, and listen, it surprised the heck out of us because,
well, that's awesome.
She didn't really like school, right? I didn't either. I'm too ADD for that, and I got all kines of other issues, and
that's why we do this kind of stuff, Frankie.
Right, exactly. That's why I had to have my own company and everything. Rules are difficult for me. So, but she's in there saying, basically, when she starts writing, we're expecting it to be like something, like I don't know, one of those things you do for a little bit. And she went all in. Like, she does not stop. She sits her day
micro-focusing,
to the point
Frankie.
where,
that's micro-focusing.
To where her mom's going like, you need to do stuff, right? Before, she didn't, college is a whole nother subject we can talk about some other time, right? And my thoughts on that these days. But she's she's doing the deals. She's got stuff with social media. She's doing brand stuff. And all of a sudden it's like, that's not as important as this. Nonstop. I've never seen anyone in my family do this where she just like writes and writes and writes and writes. I would go crazy. But she loved it.
I love it.
She made it happen.
We didn't know that.
Wait for this
she
book.
knew that.
I didn't realize how much I would love it.
Loved it.
Well,
right?
The thing about it is the passion, Frankie, that you've put into this, Olive, that is going to make this book incredible. And guess what? One of the pieces of it is when you do launch this book, leading me to my next question, you're going to be stepping into that world that you've already become what I'll call a master of. And I'm sure you can really help for a lot of the listeners and for those that can relate to what you're going through your whole life. Once you step into fandom and you become a writer, you're going to get data. You're going to get critics. You're going to get hate. You're going to get love. So if we think about your whole life over the past of becoming a social media superstar and a future best-selling New York Times writer, you stepped into fandom spaces that can be judgmental, very judgmental. No matter how big of an influencer, you'll always have people who can't help themselves but hate or bully. How do you overcome this? And what message do you have for parents and children that may be listening to this who can relate or may be going through some of online bullying at school?
Well, I think the bigger you are, the more hate you get in general. I think you don't really
Jealousy 101.
Yeah. Well, you just don't, you can't be relevant without having people coming out. Actually, and Taylor Swift is a great example of that. Like, she gets hate more than anyone I think I've ever seen. And I actually think you'd probably be better answering this because I'm not going to lie. I go to him a lot of the time when we do get hate and he gives the best advice about it. So I think you should say kind of what you say to me.
So we'll get serious for a second here.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about this, because we had a lot of discussions even from the early days on this. And there's a principle that I live by that I think provides happiness to everyone. Like, this is the secret to happiness that I tell my kids and everybody.
Yep.
The secret is gratitude. Because with gratitude, if I in this moment, hey, listen, we can't, the past is the past, right? It's a point that will never happen again. The future is just something that may or may not happen. We can have anxiety in the present about it, but we don't know, right? But in the moment, this moment right now, if I have gratitude, if I say, oh man, my life is so awesome, like I've got such a wonderful family. I'm so grateful for these kids. I'm so grateful for my wife, my best friend, right? I'm so grateful that I've had some successes. We got some money here, and we, some days we don't, but I'm grateful for it's sunny outside. All the things you look back in the past and you say, oh, this would have happened. Because I didn't even talk about the fact that when I was in college, I wanted to be a movie star. I got a scholarship in film and television. I was living in New York, all this. I was a raging alcoholic. I had to quit drinking a long time ago. I don't drink because of that, and I'm an addictive personality. But I look back and say, if this would have happened, or if this would have happened, I say, all those things are irrelevant, because any one of them, we assume, oh, this would have gone better, could have gone a lot worse. Yeah. And if you can be grateful for what you have today, every moment that ever happened had to happen for you to be right here, right now, doing what you're doing. And if you're grateful for this, you're happy. That's it. And like, that's all you have to have. So when things like that happen and people have haters, you're like, well, I'm grateful for that, because if I had haters, that means we're relevant to the point where people want to say it. I mean, because the hate is usually more about them than us. And I tell the kids, this is not about you, right? But that encouragement to fail and fail often and take risks and then be grateful for the outcome, because you just have nothing else than this moment. And if this moment you're fine and you're grateful, all of that is irrelevant. You're saying, I love that. I love that we had haters. When you get haters, what do I say? It's like, that's good. We know. Like, I know I got a good video.
You think about it, Olive, you've got Frankie, who's provided this incredible guidance. And don't forget, you've also got a mother who's a therapist, which I think is also a secret weapon. I know it's helped me as a father that also is a mental health professional. It has definitely helped me. I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but I think it's a secret weapon. And Olive, you too. I mean, you're the one that sometimes gets it as well. Have you listened to your dad, and has that helped you through this?
Yeah, in general, I would say I am so incredibly grateful to have the relationship I have with my dad, because I can't even, sometimes I get a little like choked up thinking about it, because he is incredible at reading people, and I sometimes consider myself to be this like whirlwind or hurricane of different emotions. Like, I'm a very emotional person. And I'm very passionate, and I care. You know what? I care what people think about me so much that it can consume me at times. And so to have such a grounding presence, somebody who's like celebrates the fact that I care, but helps me not get so caught up in other people's decisions about me as a person. And he kind of gives me permission sometimes to give myself permission to say, you know what? I don't have to take on what somebody's projection is of me in that moment, or their interpretation of how I should be or who I should change to become. And I think having somebody like him in those moments where maybe we're getting, some hate about something is really helpful.
It's a lot of pressure. And I'll say this for kids, that are younger, especially. And if you get into things that you are in the limelight, if you do social media, if you do happen to, you write a book, you do something where people have the opportunity to be critics of that, the resilience needs to be there, and you have to have that support system around you that says these things to you, that says, listen, when somebody is on there and they're saying something about you, right? I say it all the time. She's going to get this on the book, right? Some people are going to be like, I hate this. I said, listen, do you like it? Yes. Do you feel proud? Like, nobody read it. Would you still say it's a great story? Absolutely. Are you proud of what you did? Yes. The outcome is not up to us.
Right.
Ever. We can't control outcomes. We can control the process. We can control the journey. We can't control the outcome. So as long as you're okay with the journey, the outcome is irrelevant.
Frankie, that's the key point, and I think, that's what so many people on this show can learn from. At some point, this became more about choosing curiosity and gratitude over fear. Don't go anywhere. When we get right back, we're talking about
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return,
but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Legacy.
Started as a kid with a team to believe in. Every win and loss left my heart still beating.
Welcome back. We're here having a blast with Olive and Frankie. We've talked about overcoming negativity. We've talked about perseverance, joy, creativity, and connection. Now let's talk about a bigger question. What do you want this life to stand for? Olive, what do you hope people feel after spending 5 minutes on your page?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. Honestly, what I think is so powerful about our work isn't necessarily that it's so mind-blowing and deep and we have all this amazing advice that we can give people, but I think what it does, and I've seen this happen with comments and DMs and things people have told me in real life, is a lot of people experience joy from being on our page and consuming our content or just following along on our crazy, insane life. And I think, to me, I didn't realize how powerful that in and of itself is. Like, we've gotten some comments before that have blown my mind with the way that people have actually said, like, oh my gosh, like this was, I got one comment that I'll never forget. And someone had said watching one of our videos was the first time that they had laughed since they went through something really horrible. Wow. It's like triggering to even say. And I couldn't believe that some funny little video mattered that much
Authentic
to
video,
somebody else. And it could be a sort of a relief for them with what all the things that we have to deal with in life, all of the fears about the future and the scary things that we deal with on a daily basis. I really just want people to go to our page and to just feel like they have a little bit of a break from that and can just experience joy.
I love it. I love it. Frankie, I'm going to turn to you. I meet so many people that either have a great relationship with their father or a really difficult relationship. And I can tell in the few times we've gotten to know each other that you're a great dad. And
Thank you.
I would like to know.
You too.
I'm trying every day. I'm trying
No,
every day.
you are. I can tell.
But I want to turn it back to you is what guidance can you give dads listening today who want to be great role models to their children?
Well, of course, whether or not you set certain rules or lack of rules, you can say, oh, they're too strict, all of those things don't matter, right? It's irrelevant because really the relationship matters. And at some points that relationship will be strained by the love that you show them, right? There was times she talked about in high school, she was doing things that were not good for her. And that can then cause those issues. So I say to dads, I say, first play. Like you get so serious in life and it's just like, oh my gosh, and this and that. And I go, I wish I could do this. You know what? Nobody cares. Play, have fun. I say, let's play animals. And they're like, what? It's like, play animals. I don't know. Do anything. Have fun, because that relationship with your children and with your spouse, that's what matters. It's the relationship. Play, I would say to parents. Dads, play.
Is good guidance. That right there is what people need to hear. And speaking of play, it's now time for the Desert Fan Island. So we get to play a little bit.
Let's do it.
Each of you get to pretend you're on an island, all right? And, the Mannella Initiative or Arrowhead Stadium, Taylor Swift Stadium, whatever you want to call it. You get one song, one food, one movie, one game show to watch over and over, and one person to hang with. I'm going to pick on Olive. You got to go first. One song.
Okay, song. I'm gonna pick your song though. Really? You're gonna be mad.
Good. Seriously? Make it work.
Yeah, I want that.
What
song.
Is it?
Which one?
August by Taylor Swift. I'm gonna pick because I could listen to that one. Food. Does it have to be a nutritional food, or can it just
any
have
food you want? I'm letting you have any food you want.
It's gonna sustain you, whatever it is.
Oh, it has to sustain.
No, it just
your dad's
like
thinking about it like a true desert island. Olive, you can pick any food you want. What food do you want?
I think I'm gonna pick chicken fingers with ranch.
Done. All right. Everyone's going to want to know. One movie, Olive. What's your favorite movie?
Ooh, I'm going to pick Dead Poets Society.
I love it.
Kind of sad, but
I just saw that the other day. That is a tough one. That's a tough one.
I know.
All right.
I love that movie.
One game show to watch over and over.
Game show? Oh my gosh. Game show? I don't even know if what are game shows?
Price is Right.
They don't have them anymore.
Can I just pick any show, or does it have to be a game show?
Pick any show.
I would pick The Office.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, that's a good one. It's pretty much a game show on television.
Yeah.
All right, you get one person on this little deserted island to be with. Who is it?
Well, I have to pick my parents. Like, I have to pick two. I have to pick both of them.
I'm going to let it slide.
Olive,
you get to
find us too.
You get to pick both.
Out.
because your mom's really nice. You get to pick both. All right, Frankie, one song.
Wait, let's just back up a second because that's impossible. Because there's no one. I pick my family no matter what.
I know.
Right?
I have to
There's
pick all
no
of them.
question. So say outside the family, one person.
Oh, outside the
Fair
family?
question. Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
a great way.
gosh.
Good job, Frankie.
Taylor
I like
Swift.
that. All right, your turn, Frankie. One song.
Well, she took. August is my all-time
I
favorite,
knew I was
right?
thinking
And
that.
it's
All right.
about, and it brings me back to 1993 with my wife and dating, and it's
It's
an
a great
amazing.
song.
Food, pizza, without question. That's the simplest answer in the world. Anyone who says anything other than pizza is wrong. So
Movie. What movie?
National Lampoon's Vacation.
Score
right?
on that one.
The original.
Love it. Love
Right?
it. Game show to watch over and over.
Game show. Who seriously though, man? Who
I don't know.
watches
I
game
just get these
shows?
questions and I have to think of them.
Who watches game shows? I
You
don't
apparently.
know.
I would love to be a game
Right,
show host one day, so it's
when we
okay.
were kids, you had like 4 channels, and you stayed home from school, so you'd get like, Chuck Woolery and stuff on game shows. That's what we watched.
There you go.
I
You
was.
just said
No,
it.
I was on Ricky Lake.
We're
I was
taking
on
that
Ricky
one.
Lake
Chuck
one time.
Woolery. All right, you get one person to hang with. Who is it? Outside the family.
That's why I picked Taylor Swift, because I couldn't pick.
This is maybe a little bit out of the realm of it, but I mean, right now I would pick my mom because she died, 8
right,
years
that's a
ago,
good one.
right? So in
I
that
love it.
respect, but if it was somebody else, I don't know. Historically speaking, I'd say there's just too many to choose from. So I might just pick somebody fun, right? I mean, somebody
Well, that's
fun
perfect.
to hang
No,
out with.
pick your mom. I love that answer.
You
That's
know.
a good one. I'm locking it in. All right, we're going to
All
go
right.
right now to the buzzer beater questions. Olive, you go first. I'm going to list you some questions. Just answer immediately what comes to mind. Number 1,
Okay.
Savannah Bananas or an NFL game?
I'm going
You
to
gotta
pick Savannah
choose.
Bananas.
We know a lot of people on the team.
I like that. I like Savannah Bananas a lot.
Morning person or night owl?
Night Owl.
How many points does the opposing team get if you get a safety, tackling them in their end zone? How many points? Frankie, do not help. Just throw out a number.
3.
How many points? Okay, look, the answer is 2. All right, how many points for a field goal? You're close. How many points for a field goal?
1?
God, you're close. It's 3. It's 3. All right, next one is a guard an offensive player or a defensive player?
Defensive. Really? No.
That's why I
Guard?
picked the question, because you know what? I would have said the same thing. All right,
Right?
one thing. Yes, absolutely. Red lipstick or red jersey?
Red lipstick.
One rule you live by.
Be authentic.
There you go. Final question for Olive. TikTok or Instagram?
Ooh, TikTok.
Frankie,
Yeah.
advice you give Olive the most, even when she rolls her eyes.
Be authentic. I mean, so I was trying to think of something other, but that's what I
You're
said.
okay,
I say,
too.
yeah, you're okay. Yeah, that's a good. I do say that. I'll say you're okay. You're fine.
All right.
You're fine.
Who's louder during a football game?
Between?
You two.
Oh,
Depends on who's on the
but
screen.
I'm loud. She's loud not because of the game though. She's loud because she's doing something else rather than letting us
Oh,
hear
yeah.
the freaking game.
All right, next one. Taylor Swift's first hit, country song. Taylor
Tim
Swift's
McGraw.
first hit. No. What's the name of the song? 2007 recorded right here in Nashville. What's the name of the song?
I thought it was Tim McGraw. No,
No.
Isn't that her first country hit?
It's Our Song. That's all right. You get
Song.
another
I'll
I'll
question.
still argue that Tim McGraw was a bigger hit than that, but maybe not.
Hey,
I don't know.
her first all genre song, #1 around the world.
Her first all genre. It was
Yeah, You got this.
we were
You got
both
this, Frankie.
young, and I first
No.
what is that?
It is. We are never, ever,
it's
ever
Red.
getting back
about that? What
together.
am I thinking of?
You're thinking
2012.
of Love Story.
Love
but that's
Story.
not-
Wasn't Love Story?
No, all genre.
Frankie, and here, the last question for you. Last question for you, Frankie. Can you teach me the Taylor Swift Land, Sea, Sky Dance? Can you do it? Let's go. Let's go, Frankie.
Okay,
Come on.
Let's see.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the land, the sea, the
Oh,
sky.
okay,
Pledge
it's the sea.
to your
and
hands, your team, your
I-
vibes.
I did it up on the mountain in Switzerland, and now I can't remember it.
Absolutely love it. All
You
right.
can do it though.
I did
Last,
do it. You can
final
see the
question.
video.
When you look back years from now, what do you hope people say about the life you shared with the rest of the world?
That it was authentic. I really live by that
Like-
because we do care. Like we really do care. And I guess authentic is a little difficult because it's authentic, but it's also authentic meaning that we do have love, we do care, we are funny, we do
Yeah.
try those things so that when they look at it, they're like, oh, that really was them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that like they just Oh my gosh, those people, like they just lived totally real, and they loved each other through the process. I hope that shines through too.
Because I mean, everybody does stuff. It's like, oh, let's do this and let's do that. So I mean, when I say authenticity, I just mean that we act in the way that we are. We're not putting on some sort of like different persona.
Yeah.
And I think the world knows that. Olive, Frankie, this wasn't an episode about fandom. It was an invitation. An invitation to feel deeply, an invitation to try new things, and an invitation to find joy where you can and enjoy the life you have. This is the Superfan Diaries. I'm J.R. Green. See Olive, Frankie, and all our superfans at superfandiaries.com. Follow, review, and nominate your favorite fan. And remember, if you make one person smile today, you've had a great day. If you help them love life a little bit more, even better. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.